At some point when you're designing your website, you're going to want to put it online, whether it's to show clients your progress or maybe it's ready and it needs to go to its final domain site. So in order to get it up online, you need to have an FTP program. Dreamweaver has one built in, so that's what we're going to use. And you need to make sure that you call your host, whether it's HostGator, GoDaddy, whatever, and you need to call them and make sure you have the information. Now, the first time that you sign up with them, they should send you an email with the information already, but it's kind of hard sometimes to sift through all that information and find what you need. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to actually get your site live on the internet, and we're going to put ours on a testing site, so it's not the final site, which would be a little bit different, but it's basically the same process. So I have my final site here. And I have the files, my local files, the files that are on my machine. I need to move those files to the remote server. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and hit this expand button so I can see the local files that are on my machine and the remote files that are on my host's server. Now, I haven't defined a remote server, so I can click here, or I can double click the website folder, and it's going to bring up the site setup dialog. And we're going to go to servers and hit the plus sign to add a new server. So again, mine is a testing server, so I'm going to put it in my multimedia program server. And this name is whatever you want to call it so you can easily distinguish it. And then we're going to connect using FTP. Most of the time you'll use FTP, and you need to ask your host if you need any of these others, but in general, you're probably safe to choose FTP. So the FTP address will be ftp dot whatever your domain is, mybusiness.com, mycharity.org, and it's just going to be ftp dot whatever the domain, not the www, http, any of that kind of stuff. So we'll put in multimedia MCC, and your username and password again is something that the host should give you. If you're a student in my program, your username is your first initial last name at multimediamcc.com. and your password is your S number with a capital S. Now again, if you're not a student in my program, that doesn't make any sense for you. You're going to have to find your username and password. So go ahead and hit test, and it should say it connected successfully. If it doesn't connect, it'll tell you, and then you need to double check and make sure you typed everything correctly. If that still doesn't work, call your host and get the correct information. So we'll click OK. We're going to come back in here to do the root directory, because that's basically saying what folder do you want it to automatically go to put your website in. But before we do that, we actually have to make the folder. Now again, if this is your actual live site and it's the top level site like your domain.com, then you probably won't need to put anything in root directory, or you'd put something called public_HTML. Again, I'm doing it weird because I'm putting this on a testing site, and I want to put it in kind of a subfolder so that Google can't find it and already start drawing an audience to it. So we'll come back to that in a second and hit save, and I'll go ahead and connect to the remote. And as you can see, once it logs in, these are 4 other projects that I've already done and I might have links to and other people are looking at. So I want to create a folder up here in order to put my flower shop site in there. So I'll right click and choose new folder, and I'll type flower-shop. Now that's actually all I'm going to do there. I could drag these files into the flower shop folder, but that's kind of not efficient, and it is hard for us to use the awesome tools we have up here to synchronize and whatnot, because it's going to get confused with the fact that there are other project folders in here. So we're going to go back into those settings, and we're going to go to servers and double click the server we just created. And now in that root directory, we're going to put the name of the folder that we just created. So I'll go ahead and hit save, and save again, and I'll have to reconnect, and this time it's only going to go into the flower shop folder. So this makes sure that I'm not messing with those other folders and deleting their stuff or altering their stuff, and it's not going to confuse this site. So this makes it a lot easier because it's just going to that specific folder. Now this site isn't live yet, nothing has already been put over there, so what we're going to do is click on the site folder here, and we're going to click put files to remote, and it's going to say, do you want to put the whole site, and we'll say yes. It's going to upload it, and once it's done uploading, we can go to our browser and type in the URL. So again, if you're going to your main site, you would just go here, But again, I'm in a subfolder called J Eddington, and I'm in a subfolder called Flower Shop that I just created. So I'll hit enter or return, and now my new site's live online. I can take this URL and I can give it to whoever I want to, whether it's a client, a teacher, a friend, family member, so that they can see the constant ongoing progress in this project. So what do we do if we want to change something? Let's say we want to change geraniums to roses, and we want to change the style of the copyright to have black font instead of white. Well, we need to change those things in our Dreamweaver program on our local files, and then we need to upload the new files to the server. So let's disconnect and collapse this files panel and make our changes. So I'll come in here and put roses, and then I'll go to my CSS designer, and I'm going to find my footer rule and change this to black font. And now we can go ahead and do File Save All and go to Files, and now we're going to reconnect. So we'll expand, connect to the remote. It's going to refresh everything. And now I changed two things on here. I changed my styles.css and my index.html. So I could in fact drag those over. But if I made a ton of changes, if I added images, deleted things, if I changed a bunch of pages, that's going to get kind of tedious, especially if I have a really big site. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to use the synchronize option. What it's going to say is, do you want to synchronize the whole site? Yes, we do. And do you want to put newer files to remote, get newer files, like if these were the new ones that I worked on at home and now I want to get them, or get and put? Most of the time we're going to put new files to the remote. So we're going to click preview, and it's going to scan through the dates and times of all of these and see what's changed since the last time you've uploaded. And it says I've changed the index.html and the styles.css. So both of these are going to be put up, the new ones are going to be put to the server. Now if it makes a mistake or you don't want something to go up there, you can delete it, you can say don't do anything with it, etc. So we'll click OK, and it's going to run through it, and now we can go back to our browser, hit refresh, and we should see the changes. Now it says roses, and then the copyright is now in black font. So that's all there is. Once you first put up your site online, then you need to make sure that it's going to the specific folder you want it to go to. And then when you make changes, every time you make a change, you need to synchronize it so that it looks for the changed files and puts them all up there.